How many emotions do you think you have within you? Several years ago, it was believed that humans harbored six basic emotions. That became eight after a few years. A recent study by University of California has listed 27 distinct human emotions. All emotions are complex. A few of them are quite intriguing and some quite gripping too. Let's look at two of them today. The first is bittersweetness. You have bittersweet emotions when you feel happy and sad at the same experience or event. Remember the day that you graduated? You must have been very happy that you're about to enter the world to make a fortune, but sad at the same time because you know that you won't be meeting your classmates so frequently anymore. Parents of a child who's about to get married have bittersweet emotions because they are very happy that the child is getting married, but at the same time sad in the knowledge that he or she will soon fly the nest to begin their own family. There's a heart wrenching story about bittersweetness in Greek mythology. Orpheus was this brilliant poet, musician. He loved Eurydice and got married to her. Unfortunately, Eurydice died on her marriage day and was taken away by Hades, the god of the underworld. Orpheus won't give up. He goes to the underworld and pleads with Hades to bring Eurydice back to life. Hades tells Orpheus, "We have heard a lot about your wonderful musical talent. Why don't you entertain us today? And if you are pleased, we might let Eurydice go back with you to the human world." So Orpheus plays some of the best tunes that he has ever played in his life. Hades is moved. Hades agrees to send Eurydice back with Orpheus on one condition though. He tells Orpheus that he must go ahead towards the exit gates of the underworld and Eurydice will follow right behind him. But whatever happens, Orpheus cannot turn around to make sure that Eurydice is following him, because if that happens, then she will be gone forever. Orpheus agrees because he has no other choice and he goes ahead towards the gates of the underworld, but he's plagued with bittersweet emotions. Sweet because he knows soon Eurydice might be joining him alive in his life. But he's beset with doubts about how a dead person can be brought back to life. And he also has doubts about whether he could trust Hades' word. Anyway, he fights his temptation, looks straight ahead, and walks towards the gates of the underworld. Right at the gate, however, he darts a glance over his shoulder, and Eurydice is right there behind him. But as soon as he turns behind to look, she is snatched away to the depths of the underworld. You see, bittersweet emotions are those emotions that bring a lingering smile to your lips, but that smile does not reach your eyes, which remain sad. The other emotion, which is intriguing and gripping, is ambivalence. Now, ambivalent feelings or ambivalent emotions are prevalent in people who are governed by thoughts which have conflicts for someone or something. When you have conflicting thoughts about someone or something, you start having ambivalent emotions. This normally happens when you're on the brink of a very big change in your life. For instance, if you're shifting home from probably one city to another, or maybe one country to another, or if you're making a very big change in your career, now these are very big changes in your life, and you might feel ambivalence because you're a little diffident about the move that you're making. Ambivalence is also prevalent in people who are in a relationship. In fact, mostly you will find ambivalent emotions are found in people in relationships. For instance, loving someone but being uncertain about how long that love might last. When you have doubts about the longevity of a relationship that you are in, you will start having ambivalent thoughts. The most ideal example for ambivalent emotions is Karna. Having been rejected by both his birth parents and his adoptive parents, it was Duryodhana who took on Karna and gave him a sense of belonging, because of which Karna's loyalty to Duryodhana was unquestionable. However, just before the start of the Kurukshetra war, Karna started having ambivalent feelings. He was torn apart inside here by ambivalence between loyalty and righteousness. Should he fight for Duryodhana, or should he side with his blood brothers? Being such a virtuous man, Karna was such a virtuous person, he just cannot ever be disloyal to someone. So you see, ambivalent emotions are those emotions that drive you to become like a pendulum, swinging back and forth between certainty and uncertainty. But you ought to remember, it is emotions. They are emotions that make it a person. You are what you are because of your emotions. But you must also keep in mind, emotions are enslaved by your thoughts, and you are enslaved by your emotions. So if you don't want to be a slave to your emotions all your life, you must learn to control your thoughts. And that can happen with rationality and will. Good luck.